The Leah McSweeney Show.
All my friends call me Nikki.
So I'm calling you Nikki because I'm your friend.
What?
Wait, the funniest thing is also like once you were like doing like one of your videos was like you were doing your makeup and you like had like Roni playing and I was like, oh, this is really
I might
funny.
have to tell you actually that whole story.
No, you need to tell me that story.
Do you want to tell? I can tell you now.
Tell me.
So one of my friends does Dorinda's makeup and like talks.
Who, Luke?
Nico.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I know Luke.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know of Luke, but whatever. And so he would like talk about her and I was like, oh, I should probably like catch up. And so like we already followed each other before I knew that you were on The Housewives.
That's so
and then
funny.
Your face pops up and I'm like, oh, great. That's that TikTok girl.
That's so
It was really
funny.
And so I've just been like working my way through that franchises.
I love it.
Yeah. So I've done New York, I've done Potomac, and now I'm on Georgia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Potomac.
It's dramatic and I'm obsessed with
but I
it.
haven't watched the first few seasons. I kind of started watching later, but like, have you with like Candace is on there and Wendy?
Yeah.
Are you like a Candace fan or not? Because I know she's very controversial.
So
she's controversial.
She's a Scorpio and I'm a Scorpio. So like I understand the Scorpionic energy, but I understand also how people can be like turned off by that.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. I don't know her. Is she?
In real
okay,
life.
great, cool.
Yeah, in real life. I mean, I personally love her on the show, like because like no one can fucking read a bitch like she can. Like
literally.
I'm like, this is a gift. This is a God-given
entirely
gift that you are sharing with the world. And
thank you.
Please, yes, and thank you for doing the Lord's work. And then Dr. Wendy is my friend, and
she is everything.
She's everything. And I haven't really talked about Bravo ever, maybe like on the podcast in this way, like in a little gossipy.
Like totally do like a whole.
I mean, I could obviously. Everybody would probably. I'd probably get a lot more
They're
listens.
waiting for it. They're waiting for
want
it.
me to talk
They're
about
waiting
this.
for it.
You know, Giselle. So I went on Ultimate Girls Trip. Exactly. So you know, I kind of liked Giselle before I went on the trip with her, and I think she felt the same way about me. But then I also watched her season where she accuses Candace's husband. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, come on, girl. This is like too forced. I don't really. Yeah. You know.
Dramatic.
And I didn't like the bullying with Wendy. They were bullying. That is some bully shit. They were bullying her, and then she ends up getting a
BBL or tummy tuck.
Well, no, wait, that, but also, but she gets like a gallstone, a bladder.
Gallbladder.
Yeah, like a gallbladder stone or something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, but I knew from being on the show, I'm like, oh, that's from the stress of the show. But that's the fourth wall that you can't break.
I totally bet it's the most stressful job.
So beyond.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, wait. So basically the whole cast is like bullying her. Like she got like physically assaulted on the trip to Miami and then had to like leave the house and get put in another house. Jesus and then Christ. She has like a medical emergency. I'm like, been there.
Poor
that's
girl.
stress. But she did get a BBL and it looks so good.
Honestly, work queen.
Oh my God. Yeah. And then she has her boot Happy and Ness. I need to name mine.
We all need to name ours.
I know.
Like
I don't know. What should we name our
I don't know.
boobs?
Well, I feel like it should be, I don't know, a duo name like Coco Chanel or Dolce & Gabbana or like something that goes together.
I love that. Lady and the Tramp.
Legally Blonde. So you can be.
That's so good. I actually want a skinny BBL. That's my new thing. Yes, let's get it. Where are we gonna go?
So there's
Dr. Young.
Places.
Have you heard of Dr. Young?
Where's Dr. Young?
I think he's in Texas.
So interesting. I can't go to get surgery in Texas because if they deem it as a gender affirming surgery, which a BBL is, I would have to just not disclose my medical history to them. But like 100%.
Hold on a second.
That's a real thing.
Wait.
That's a real thing.
That's fucking insane.
Insane.
Like that's actually fucking crazy.
Insane.
Because honestly, sometimes I'm like, because sometimes I'm gonna be totally real. I'm like, are like trans rights really under like what are these laws that are? Because I don't know all the laws. I do want to know.
Yeah, we can.
Because that to me is like shocking. Like you're an adult.
So much.
You're an adult who can like make any kind of decision you want, and also with the children stuff. My thing is it's up to the parents. Yeah, like the government should stay out of it.
100%.
That's how I feel. 100%. You know. And an adult should be able to get whatever fucking surgery they want. Wait, explain this to me right now.
Well, so the doctor, if they are knowingly treating a trans patient, they could then be subject to like being indicted or going to jail or like some form of repercussion.
For what though?
For treating a trans patient and providing a gender affirming surgery. And since like a BBL falls under that category.
Like a regular, like medical, like if it's cosmetic or something?
I mean,
like
it must be cosmetic. Like if a trans person needs to get like a heart transplant in Texas,
course,
like
right.
that's
okay,
different.
got it. But if you like want a rhinoplasty or something?
Something that, falls under them. Which is crazy. And I didn't even think about that because the doctor that I was going to go to, not Dr. Jung. Is it Dr. Young?
No, sorry. Maybe it's Dr. Jung.
The Jung Money guy.
Jung Money, exactly.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes.
I was going to go to him, but there's actually an even better guy in Colombia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you really want to.
But Dr. Jung is in
he's
Texas,
iconic.
right?
Yeah, he's in Texas.
And he does those skinny BBLs.
Yeah, and he's who I was going to go to.
So he can't operate on a trans person?
He can't knowingly operate on trans person. So like I could technically go and have surgery. I just wouldn't be able to disclose like everything that I have done when they do like when was your last period? What were the last surgeries you had? Yada, yada, yada. I would just have to lie.
And then if you... Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I still am confused. He could get in trouble for what exactly? Like if
So I looked it up for you guys. It's the law in Texas takes effect September 1st, and it's very vague. That's the issue. So in one area it says it's for any person 18 or under, but then in some areas, correct, there could be held accountable specific surgery. So again, still very vague and open for interpretation.
That's how they get you. It's all open to interpretation.
The vaguer, the better. It's like that's what they do. The more vague, the more they can push.
My God.
Well, I want to get a lower bleph very badly. Like I had an upper bleph, and it was like the best thing I ever did. And I never even really thought about it until like my nose I had always wanted done, but like my eyes like. Well, I guess as I got older, I was like, oh, like it's just my eyes look different, like because gravity is like setting in, or whatever. But yeah, it was the best thing I ever did. But now, like, I definitely want like lower for sure. I
mean,
it's fun.
Girl, I got all the doctors. You just
okay.
say
Well,
the word.
I'll be like hitting you up for that. Okay, so let me introduce our amazing guest, Nikki, who this is the good because sometimes social media drives me crazy, but sometimes the algorithm just hits right. And I'm not like I tried doing my makeup really good for Nikki today.
It looks stunning, by the way.
It's not that good at all. It's not that good at all. But I came across your TikTok account. I'm like, who is this amazing woman who's so funny, who's so transparent, who has like the best fucking slang ever that I've ever heard. Like the words that you come up with and everything. And like you do your makeup so perfectly. I was like, I'm obsessed. And then one of your videos, I heard that you're listening. I like hear the Roni women talking in the background. But you also have like, I don't know if it's a roommate or like a friend or that guy. They come in and you like talk to them and everything. So how did you get I mean, you have a lot of followers on TikTok and obviously you're very talented, but like, how did it all start?
I mean, I can tell you the whole story.
Tell me the whole story.
Did I just have a stroke? Jesus Christ. I downloaded TikTok during COVID like everyone else did.
Oh my God, it was just during COVID?
It was just during COVID. And I wasn't even using it seriously.
That's awesome.
Oh, I thought it was like...
No, that is so cool.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Can we turn this fan off? Because it blows my hair and I don't like it.
Oh,
I'd
honestly.
rather... Or do you like the blowing of the hair? Because then I have to just keep fixing it. And I'm like...
Queen gets what queen is. That's how that works. So I would just join TikTok like everyone else did during COVID. And it was about a year later that I wasn't even seriously using it.
Right.
And I had a gender affirming surgery that was scheduled with a doctor that I scheduled, I believe it was like in September. And then January 1st, I get a call from my insurance that said, hey, your doctor is no longer covered by insurance. So you need to pay $60,000 to have this gender affirming surgery now because your insurance isn't accepted anymore. And so that was like a knife in the gut. And I do tarot. I've been doing like a tarot forever.
What?
I'm like a little spiritual witchy queen
that
like
wonder
secretly
why I liked you so much. Okay.
I thought it was the Virgo vibes, but
right.
You're a Virgo, right?
And you're a Scorpio.
Yeah, and I love a good Virgo.
I like Scorpios.
Oh, we're so easy to be liked. Just kidding. And so as I am the crying girl on the internet, I propped up my phone and just started doing tarot cards, and I was like, hey, if you need a tarot reading, I'm trying to raise money for the surgery, let me know. And it took 8 months, and I crowdfunded for a surgery like so many trans people do. And I got my surgery, and
From the same doctor?
No.
Different doctor.
Okay. There was a whole, that we can talk about the holes in the medical system later. But so that's how I initially came. I believe it was 330 days of daily affirmations with tarot cards. And that was what got me going initially with my following. And then after surgery, my mom died, and I was just depressed. And makeup is something that I've always done to help calm my mental space. And that my roommate actually was just film it, and edit it and post it. And I started doing that, and people just started following. And now we're here.
Listen, when you play that classical music sometimes with you doing, I get mesmerized by watching you do your makeup. And
so sweet.
Joe, I'm telling you, even you as a straight cis man.
You always do this to me, by the way. You just point at me like the ideal white guy.
You have to watch. It's so soothing.
Oh, thank you.
It really is.
I am glad that comes out, because it does the same thing for me.
It's wild. How did you learn how to do makeup so good? You must have some art skills, I feel like.
I mean, was definitely, I grew up as an artist. My parents pushed me to go to art school, but I denied and said no.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Florida. I grew up on a little farm in the middle of nowhere, Florida.
Where in Florida?
Ocala.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, you don't need to know. You don't ever need to
know
what
that is.
Sorry if you're from Ocala.
I know where that is. I have 2 friends that live there.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a very small town.
Yeah, it's
the capital of the world. A farm in Florida. That sounds hot.
It was so
smelly,
hot.
Maybe in the heat with animals. And did you have animals on the farm?
Oh yeah, we had animals on the farm.
What kind?
We had everything. We had mostly horses. It was a horse farm.
Oh, that's nice.
And then my family worked in the vet world, so we had
cool.
rescue animals that would stay with us while they were healing and stuff.
That is so sweet.
And so it was a cute little, it was very humble roots.
What was it growing up in Ocala?
It's a very rightist, conservative area. Yeah. And I have always been this way. I've always been me, and I always knew who I was, and people didn't like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't the easiest upbringing, but I'm glad that it happened. It really made me able to push through kind of anything.
Yeah.
And
did you know, you knew when you were young, I'm in the wrong body.
I knew. Oh yeah, if you're just watching, I'm trans.
Sorry, right. Maybe we forgot to mention that.
Yeah. From my first conscious memories, I've always known that this was who I am and who I wanted to be. And my parents, people around me weren't necessarily on board.
Right.
And so this is why I'm so adamant about protecting trans kids, because I know the harms that come from not being able to be yourself. And being honored as that authentic self by the people around you.
Yeah.
And so, it wasn't the most easy.
And it makes a difference when you're young and allowed to kind of start.
Oh my God.
Or you don't have a chance of presenting in a way that you're going to maybe feel comfortable going through the world, right?
And that's one of the things that people are so against or so concerned with when it comes to trans children being medicalized. There are 515 bills or pieces of legislation currently that are accosting trans people in this country. And that number is growing. And the reason that a lot of it is cloaked under the guise of protecting children.
And it's also such a small amount of people that people are so hyper focused on. It's really.
Yeah, literally. There are, I don't know, 3,000, 10,000
people aren't the problem here.
Yeah, we're just trying to exist. I just want to vibe.
Can we figure out actual problems in the country and let people just be free to do what they want?
Hunger, poverty,
right? Education, right? Everything. Yeah.
There's so many things that we could address, but.
Wow, 515 pieces of legislation.
Which is crazy to think about.
I'm assuming that it's not, none of them are in New York, I don't think, right?
Not right now. As I know of, and granted, there are judges who are eventually going to be vetoing these down. We hope, and that's our saving grace that we're kind of banking on, but we don't really know.
Yeah,
until it happens.
Right,
which is terrifying.
I know. It really is.
Yeah.
Do you have like mentor like any or how does that?
No. I mean, I just kind of think that just by existing and being visible and just like showing
I'm sure people reach out to you, obviously, like on
100%. Yeah. And I love you if you do. But yeah, I just think it's really about just showing what it can be like, that you can make it through parts of your life that aren't the easiest, and you can enjoy life in a more full, wholesome way.
And your family's like accepting now. I mean, I know your mom passed, and my condolences, but rest of the family or
I mean, my sister, as I don't talk to my dad, my sister and my mom really was like the most accepting person that I've ever had, and she didn't used to be, and I think one of the reasons that I like cry about her on the internet so much is because like she was someone who showed me that people can change and that you can like take everything that you were like. I don't think we really like put into perspective like the life that our parents were raised in and the standards that were expected of them.
Yes.
And so
we can't think that they're just going to suddenly get on board with the new wave or like how we think, right?
Yeah, there's so much deconditioning that has to happen. But she was the person who showed me that it could.
That's beautiful.
And she acknowledged, like, love you, Mom. She acknowledged that she didn't make my life easy, and parts of it, of my childhood, were really hard because of her. And she spent like the rest of her life trying to make it up to me.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna cry,
babe.
So yeah,
that's beautiful that you got to experience that.
The last couple, like we had like
good
5 good years. Yeah, 5, 6 good years. Yeah. So at least I got those.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you dating anyone? What's going on with the love life?
There's no love in this life. Other than for myself, you know. Literally, I mean, in the New York dating pool especially, like, how are we supposed to? We're fighting for our lives. That's really what it is. And so I don't really know how we're supposed to, as gorgeous, stunning women, how we're supposed to go about navigating the dating. Are you dating anyone?
Well, I was.
Am I allowed to ask you?
And you've opened up Pandora's
box. You can ask me anything. No, I mean, I talked about, I'm not dating. And I really, I was dating someone for a couple months, and I talked about it on the podcast. And it was like, it was the first guy I really, felt so strongly about in so many years, in 10 years. I literally, had vertigo. But the issue was that he, without knowing and subconsciously, he was triggering all of my core wounds.
Isn't that how it always works?
And
I was in relationships, people.
And I was acting psychotic. I'm gonna just put it out there. I mean, I take full responsibility and ownership for and I said some mean ass shit to him because. Hey. When I go low, and I can just, I'm a professional. Yeah, I can I know exactly what to say. Yeah. That's going to fucking hurt. Yeah. And I don't think he was saying things purposely to hurt me. They were just subtle things that would make me insecure or whatever the fuck. This is the other thing. And one of my co-stars from Roni, Ebony, said she got in a lot of heat because she said, someone said, would you date a bus driver? And she said, if he owned the bus. And then all these people came for her and were like, and the woman who she was talking to was like, what about how he treats his mother? What about what his character is? What about if he loves driving the bus? And I'm going to say, I don't think she should have gotten dragged like that, because this is the thing. She's a lawyer. She's been on TV. Yeah. She has a certain lifestyle. She makes a certain amount of money. Yeah. And it's very hard as a woman to date a man who is not as successful financially or just in terms of his dreams, right? I've had a lot of my dreams come true, right? Some of them turned out to be nightmares, but whatever. So this guy is at a different place. He's a little younger than me, but I started my own company when I was 22 years old, right? Which is
insane,
right? Which is kind of insane. Thank you. And so, it's not like it was an issue yet, but I think that as women, men can date. I don't want to say date down, but like I don't know what the nicer term is. Like if a man's
that's the term though. That is the term. Dating down. That's the term. That's the.
I know, but it's like not that nice.
I mean,
like, but like if a man like. I would not be in my feelings if I'm dating a man that's more successful than me, right? I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But if a man is less successful in dating me, he's going to be in his feelings about it because we're just the stronger, like we're just different. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that he, without telling me, did feel uncomfortable about this differences in our apartments and the differences in our bank accounts and the whatever it was, you know, even though I wasn't thinking about that shit because I was just thinking, damn, I love this guy's vibe. I love his energy. I love his dick, you know, like I was like, I just like this, like hanging out with him. This is refreshing. He's mad cool. He's funny. He's genuine. But I think he had a lot of noise about me and about like what it would look like to like be in a relationship with me. And it sucks because like I didn't ask for my life that I have, like, you know what I mean? Like it just happened. So anyway, so I tried breaking up with him and he was like, no. And I was like, okay, never mind. And then 2 days later he dumped me. And then of course
that's rude.
So rude. And then of course my ego was like fucked up for like but I was really devastated and heartbroken. And he was, I don't know. We're probably gonna have sex tonight, though.
It's not always the tale as old as time. That's always how it works.
But I'm also like now, like I'm fine. I'm over it. I'm going on a date on Friday with someone else. Right. Like I'm just kind of like, okay, I can't like be in pain over this guy anymore. Like it is what it is, and like tonight maybe we'll have sex and I'll see how it goes. But now he seems heartbroken and I'm not. You know, like the pendulum.
There's always like a delayed response with guys.
There's always a delay.
Always.
Right?
Always.
Why is that?
Honestly, I have no idea. I can't begin to understand men.
They're crazy. I know they really are, Joe. You guys are.
Offense, Joe.
I am like the target in this place.
I know you are.
It's like white man dead.
Yeah. Well, you're half like Spanish.
I'm Colombian.
I know you're Colombian.
My dad came here on a raft.
Pretty white.
Like what's happening?
You're pretty pale.
This doesn't apply to you. Don't worry.
You sure?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel that way. Doesn't feel that way. Leah likes to point at me. She'll be like, what do you think? And I'm like,
I know. Well, we need your perspective sometimes, but I am going on a date on Friday.
Congratulations, by the way. I'm proud of you with that. Go for it.
Going on a date. So some restaurant that like I honestly like never. It's fine. It's like I looked it up. It's expensive. It's like he's a restaurateur, so like, and he owns restaurants that aren't like in New York though. So I think he likes to come and like kind of. It's like also like him doing like
he's researching.
He's researching 100%. Exactly. So it's some place that like I would never pick. But I'm fine with going to whatever.
What's the name of the restaurant? Now we need to know.
When will this Zuzu? It's on like 9th Avenue. It's like in Chelsea or 10th Avenue or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Sounds like cool. Mediterranean. I don't know.
We'll trust.
Yeah. It's like, you know, I'll see how it is.
Yeah.
My friend
just have fun.
But my friend that introduced me to him was like, he's a playboy. He's bought more love bracelets, like Cartier love. Like, first of all, I'm not the girl that's gonna ever wear a Cartier love bracelet. Like, I'll take it and then I'll sell it and use the money and like fucking like invest that money like in something else. I don't know. I mean, it's not my, sorry. I know sometimes I look at Joe and I'm talking. It's not, I don't like a lot of jewelry, and I also just don't like want a love bracelet vibe. But you know what I mean? I know normally I have one little, but that's a Virgo thing I heard too, by the way, is like to have one little thing, and sometimes I'll wear my watch and like that's that. I don't like to be like,
that's it.
Yeah, you know? But then also every girl, it's like the thing to have that love bracelet. And I'm just not into what everyone else has. Right?
See, we vibe so well. Yeah. It's very much like I want things that no one else can get their hands on.
Right. It's kind of like basic bitch. Like it's giving basic. I mean, laughing. It's like I know it's like an $8,000 bracelet, but still. And then it's locked on your arm like that. Like, get it off of me. Like, that would give me anxiety. Just having the Gov. Oh my God! Wait, I need to talk about Gov Ball. Have you ever been to Gov Ball?
No, I haven't, but I know of Gov Ball.
Okay, it's really fun. Next year we'll go together.
Please, okay? That would be really fun.
Because I went
yesterday, right?
It was this past weekend, and I went on Friday. And normally I'm like very in my, I have like social anxiety, and I don't like large crowds, and sometimes like I'm just bad with like I'll just get exhausted from like my social battery is like not like
Pretty girls have low social batteries.
You know, it's very like I need to be in my house a lot, like on my couch. This was the most like, I don't know if it was the endorphins of being at the live music or something, because I'm sober, so I know, like, you know, I have like an addict brain. I was like, I need to go back. The next day I was like, I didn't go back.
Oh, did you find your...
I don't know. It was like I felt like I was, I don't know. I was really
you were
like...
vibing out.
I was vibing out. And I don't know if it was because it was so chaotic that I was like, I feel like I'm finally at peace, like in this chaos. Like maybe I need to be in chaos more, not just in quiet in my apartment, because it makes me forget about everything or something.
That's ironic, because whenever I do those things, I have anxiety attacks and like I'm curled in a ball on the ground. Like, can we go home?
Do you get anxiety?
Yeah. Oh, I'm riddled with it.
Yeah. How does your anxiety show up for you? Like, how do you feel it? Like, does it...
It just ruins my life in all facets and in every opportunity and every turn. It just really tries to show its face. But honestly, I've been unmedicated for so long that I've been trying to raw dog white knuckle it, and I feel like I've found my stride. I mean, good. If I'm honestly, I do need to smoke a joint like once a day just to like chill me out,
right?
But then honestly, like at this point, I'm just vibing.
Good.
Yeah. So
I think that weed, like my I'm not gonna say who, but anyway, I have a friend who was in the program, who was in 12-step program and whatever, and now is like partaking in like edibles and smoking weed and whatever. And I'm like not judgmental at all. I'm like, dude, whatever you need to do. And also like he had some stomach issues, and like it's helping like chill his stomach out. He has like IBS or whatever. Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, anxiety does fuck your stomach up. So I'm like, if a joint is like going to help you like sleep, like what is the fucking, to me, it's literally. Like, we know that there's medicinal, aspects to it now. And what's the difference between like, I'm on antidepressants, so, and I don't even think that shit's helping me. I really don't. I mean, if I have one more really bad bout of depression, I'm going to the ketamine therapy.
One of my friends actually found it to be so helpful.
It's supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, literally. It's just the red tape to be able to get to the ketamine.
Exactly. I know. And I just read a medical paper about bipolar disorder, which I have bipolar 2, and I don't like using labels, but whatever. They say I have it.
Got it. And I feel that.
You know, and ketamine, and so obviously with bipolar 2, the depression is really what's the fucking killer, you know? So, and ketamine helps depression. So I'm like, this is maybe something I want to try, because I've literally been on everything from Seroquel to lithium to fucking Abilify to, you know, Lamictal to, I mean, it's like none of this shit helps. The mood stabilizers don't help. I don't need to be on a fucking mood stabilizer. And what they're showing with ketamine is that it really helps the neuroplasticity.
Yeah, it helps
in
with,
your
like,
brain.
Wiring them all back together. Something like that.
And seeing things in a different perspective. And like, I don't know.
I hope that works. I hope you're able to
I hope I never need it. I hope I never have like a depression that's bad enough that I need to do it. But like, I might.
Literally that part.
I mean, we just lived through some crazy shit.
Yeah,
like COVID was
traumatized.
Yes, we were collectively traumatized by COVID.
100%.
Right or wrong? Especially like living in New York. Like,
did you do it by yourself, or you did it with your daughter?
Well, I had my daughter, but that was like also pretty depressing, because she'd be like, I'd be like, get up for school, and she'd literally just like put a blanket over her head and put on Shameless, and I'm like,
got it.
All right, I get it. Do what you need to do to get through this.
Yeah,
you know,
literally.
like, I mean, I get it. You know, and then I also relapsed. Like, I had started drinking again, and had to get sober again during the pandemic, and it was televised. Did you watch season 12 of Roni with my first season?
I did.
The cheeky torches.
I absolutely did. Yeah, honestly, like that was where I was like, oh, I fuck with this girl.
I know, I'm kind of a vibe. When I'm like,
that's the only vibe that I want.
But also, like, that's me. Like, that was me. Like, if I could, like, okay, me throwing the champagne all over the tiki torches and like getting naked and being like, fuck you, Park Avenue. Yeah. That's like what I want to do, but because of society and because of like all the rules that we have to live by, like I don't do that, right? Because like I know how to, like, I'm not supposed to be getting nude like at a person's house and like maybe lighting their whole fucking thing on fire, but I want to do that. So drinking the alcohol just makes me do what I want to actually do. Yeah. Because I fucking hated those tiki torches. They represent bullshit.
Yeah, period. That part.
You know?
And I love that you stand up for that shit. Get into it. And also congrats on the being sober.
Thank you.
The way. I know that's
it's a pain.
journey.
It's a journey. It's a journey. Dealing with feelings.
Aren't they the worst?
Oh my God.
I hate them. Can we get rid of them completely and entirely?
They're so annoying.
I know.
It's just too much sometimes.
I know.
You know?
See, if we could, I mean, I'm just numb inside at this point, so
I don't
really
believe that. No, I see you crying, girl. Stop.
I know. Sorry, I'm lying.
No,
Jesus.
yeah. Me and you were a little, I cry a lot.
All the time.
I cry.
All the time.
Yeah. We have to.
Yeah, we have to.
It's like you have to get it out. It's healing.
That or I'm going to go crazy.
Right.
I'm going to be like bouncing off the walls.
Same.
Ripping my hair out and just like, I might as well just cry.
Like sometimes when I'm feeling an anxiety attack come on, like I just start crying and then afterwards I feel better. I'm like, oh, it was just feelings.
Yeah.
That I was scared of. So I start panicking, you know?
Literally. Sorry.
No, go on.
I don't mean to cut you off.
What?
I've been doing that shamanic shaking that you've...
Oh my God! I love that.
Yeah,
yes,
I saw that on the podcast and I was like, oh, let me try this. And I did it. And I was like, I've been doing it like at least once a day.
Yes.
It really is so useful and helpful.
You have to read Dr. Vora's book.
I actually will.
It is fucking dope. It changed my whole perspective on anxiety. Like, oh, my anxiety is telling me something. The reason why my stomach's in a fucking knot and like I feel like I'm gonna puke or like my hands are tingling and I feel like I can't breathe and I'm feeling this anxiety is because something is out of alignment.
100%.
And my body is trying to tell me something, right? Like, what is it? Is it the relationship that I'm in is not meant to be, right? Which was what was happening with this past guy. Or the job I'm in is not working for me. Or like, I have like unresolved fucking issues with my mom or whatever it is, right? Like the trauma, like it's just, I need to address shit. And that's like when anxiety like shows up. Are you in therapy?
Yes. I mean, I've been in therapy my like entire life.
That's good.
So not in like, I was in conversion therapy first.
Wait, hold up. This is where are you from? Ocala? Like
Ocala.
Okay, this
What's
is the
happening in Ocala?
Conversion.
I
like
mean, this was
it some like evangelical?
This was 15 years ago. This was 16 years ago.
That's not even that long ago.
No, not even that long ago. But like in terms of my life, that was, I guess, like.
Right. Of course you were young, but I'm thinking like, I can't believe that exists.
Oh, it exists. Yeah. They just like, you know, threw me in, but my parents said they were worried for my safety out and about and they wanted to fix that. And so like, yeah, when I was young, I was probably like 14, 13 when I started, and I've been in therapy ever since.
But can you talk about the conversion therapy thing if it's not too?
I mean, it wasn't like it.
It wasn't like they were like electrocuting you into like not being trans or something. Like what? How does that work?
It was much more medicinal, thank God. It was really just me sitting on the couch every week telling the therapist, like, I don't need to be on this couch. My parents need to be on this couch. I don't need to be here. I'm completely fine.
Yeah.
And them just saying, you're not fine for these reasons. We need to do this. We need to fix this. And I was just like, no, you're dumb. Can we stop? And so eventually, like, the one thing about me is that I'm very stubborn. And so my parents eventually just learned that this isn't going to work on her. And so they were like, we're going to stop wasting our money.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what got them.
Good.
Yeah. So, and then I got back in therapy when I was probably like 16, 17, when I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. And this is who I am. And you have to be to be anyways to be able to get through any of this process. So
do you think that that's a smart idea, or how do you feel like, do you think it's?
I think that some form of medical gatekeeping is necessary because like these aren't decisions that should be made lightly. And there is a lot of, there's a lot of stuff going on in your life, in your brain, in your just existence throughout that time. And like you should have, I think it's responsible to have check-ins with someone who is a professional in that sense. Do I think that doctors should be able to tell you that, no, you don't check off enough boxes for me to think that you deserve to have X, Y, or Z procedures or medicalized interventions? No, I don't think that should be a thing. But I do think that it's smart to be
checking in with someone.
Yeah.
What about the sports stuff? There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of controversy around the sports stuff right now.
So funny that you actually bring that up. This is actually something that I dealt with growing up myself. So I was a swimmer for my entire life.
Okay.
I swam from when I was like, I don't know, probably 10 years old.
That's why you're snatched.
Through college, bless you. I was being a swim instructor was my first job. And so like, this was just like, that was my life. And when it came to college, I decided I knew when I was 15, I was like, okay, this is who I am. I came out to myself. I started like living as myself. But then when I got to college, the decision was, do you want to swim and have a scholarship, or do you want to transition and choose yourself and be who you are? I couldn't do both. And so it came down to like, what was I more passionate about? The one thing in my life that was all I ever knew, or the thing in my life that scared me the most? And so it was like, I got to pick the thing that scares me the most. And
right.
so I gave up swimming. And here's what I have to say about all of the sports stuff that's going on with trans people. I mean, the people who are having all these opinions, these strong opinions about the X, Y, and Z reasons why trans people should not be allowed to be in sports, have no idea the medicalized process or how it affects the body.
Right.
There is no way. It took, I believe the standard was at one point, it was like you needed to be on hormones for a year before you were able to be considered or allowed. That was, I think, what they were trying to do for.
You mean?
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying. That was like what they were trying to do, but now no one's allowed. But like in just a year alone, your complete body changes. The musculature, your muscle bellies, like everything changes. The fat redistribution. I was nowhere near what I was capable of doing after I was on hormones for a year, let alone,
of course,
5 years, let alone, would make sense. At that point, like 7 years.
Yeah.
And so there really isn't this, we're not men who are trying to beat women at their own game.
Right.
And that's what they're trying to make it as.
Yeah.
And we don't have these inherent like strongman powers that are going to take away the prizes from other women. And so I think that the people who are having all these opinions are a little skewed in their mind. But you know, what are we supposed to do about it?
What if,
Nothing.
I think that like, what if a cis male, God, sometimes I feel like I'm trying to, I know, I'm like, well, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Okay. So what if like a cis male is just like being an asshole and is like, right? Like, I'm identifying as a woman today and I'm going to fucking like, but I don't know. Can they do that and then end up on the sports team? Like, how does it work? And obviously like, will someone actually do that? I don't know.
So the gag was, well, to answer your question, first off, I don't even know any instance of that happening. I don't know if anyone has.
Same.
I don't think that's actually not like happening.
Yeah.
But when I stopped swimming in college, I started bodybuilding and I competed without telling anyone that I was trans. And so it's like, and everyone was fine with it. No one had a problem. And so it's like, again,
I love weight.
Yeah, literally. Oh, we should go to the gym.
Oh my God.
You're an Equinox girl, right?
No, I go to the Fort.
Oh.
Where do you go?
I go to Equinox.
Can I go with you one day?
Yeah, you totally can.
Okay, good.
Or Temple or Crunch or whatever you
want. Okay,
cool. But like, what was I saying? Oh, bodybuilding.
Sports, yeah. Bodybuilding, yeah.
This goes back to the narrative that is, I think, the underlying tether that's tying all of these pieces of legislation together, and just all of the stuff that's happening with trans people together, is that people don't think that we exist around them in public. They don't think that we are everywhere. They don't think that we have been in every generation, in every century.
They don't understand. I think a lot of people don't understand that this is like not something new.
Yeah, like
I mean, I grew up in New York, so it's a little like I have a different like perspective, like, and so do my parents, because like they're from Chelsea, like, and that's where I grew up, you know. Yeah. But if you are not from a city, right, and you're just watching the news, you think this is like some kind of phenomenon that's like a 100%. New thing, and it's like, you know, this hysteria, and it's like, actually this is like kind of been going on forever.
literally forever. And let us not forget that it was men back in, I don't know what century it was, doing kabuki plays, dressing up as women. Like,
absolutely.
Let's not sit here and act like this hasn't been something that has been going on for not that like we are men dressing up for
of course not, but
play,
saying
for theater, but like,
there's been a lot of like fluidity around
that part.
People's genders for a very long time,
and it's all to push this narrative that trans people inherently look and exist one way, and you're supposed to be able to tell who they are. And like, granted, transness has always been historically it's been used as comedic relief in entertainment. It's always the man dressed up as a woman for a joke to get.
That's such a good point.
100%.
Wow.
And so, not to like say that I'm making a good point, but like, that is what it is, and they're banking on people believing that trans people are just people dressing up as other people for a joke, for a laugh, and then we're going to take it off at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And when people like myself or people like Teddy, who was on your podcast, or like just anyone who's existing happily as themselves, humanize this experience, they're like, oh, well then we can't pull the cloak over people's heads anymore.
Right.
And so that's really all it comes down to, is that they don't want us, or they don't think that we exist around them everywhere. And this goes into sports. This goes into the bathrooms. This goes into literally everything.
Yeah.
So.
The prisons.
Oh my God.
I mean, I feel like
Can we talk about Nykita Dragon, who was put in a men's prison or men's jail?
No.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. When was that?
Because I believe it was, granted, I don't know if this is absolutely what happened. I believe she put water on a police officer's face, or like threw a drink at him, and then they put her in jail. And they took her to a men's jail.
That's crazy.
I don't know how long she was there or what it took for her to get out, but she was there.
That's crazy. But then you also, not obviously this doesn't apply to Nykita Dragon, but I feel like I've read stuff about like I don't know if it's actually a trans woman, or just someone pretending to be one and then trying to get into the women's prison and then like,
oh my God,
like raping someone. But I feel like I read that. I don't know. It's like very like, but then like how a trans woman that just wants to be safe in prison.
Literally.
You cannot be safe in a male prison when you are a trans woman. That's insane. You are going to get fucking hurt badly.
Terrifying. I don't even want to think about that. So scary. Yeah. So there's so much that needs to be done on all.
Well, you're so like outspoken on on your TikTok, and you're like always talking about it and stuff. So, you know,
I mean, it's just like, at the end of the day, it's like, this is just my life, and I'm just living my life, and this is a piece of it.
I also think like people need to, and like you were talking about like our parents and like people who like can, you know, grew up in one way and are like, what the heck is going on, right?
Yeah.
They just need to meet someone and have a conversation and be like, just a regular person.
Literally 100%.
That's it.
100%. I mean, and it even goes like, even something, not even just have a conversation. Like if I'm walking through Times Square and a family asks me to take a photo of them, like, like things like that, like the most human things that like, we're your doctors, we're your teachers, we're your, I don't know, lunch ladies, like,
servers at a restaurant or whatever it is.
Literally, we are everywhere. And you have probably, not just you, but like everyone has encountered trans people without even knowing it. And that's the thing, is that people are just so afraid of what they can't see, and they just think that they're going to be able to see a trans person from a mile away.
Right. All right. Well, let's switch it up and talk about, I need some makeup tips.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Let's talk about hair and makeup tips, because
Can I curse? Sorry.
You absolutely, you are my I literally look at you, I'm like, how the hell did she get her hair like this?
I'm
like
honored.
How do you, it's always so,
I'm so honored.
But how does it look like that? How do you do that?
I mean,
what are you doing to it?
This hair specifically?
No, the one, I mean, this looks great.
Oh, thank you.
Sometimes on your TikTok, when you just are doing your makeup and you have your hair, it's like, just looks like a perfect blow dry.
Oh,
but it's like a perfect, like,
I mean, I'm probably giving it a perfect blow dry.
You're giving it that's how you're doing it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm self-taught, and I've just been, this goes back to, I mean, I keep going back to the trans stuff, but beauty was safety for me growing up. And it was like, I didn't have access to surgeries or doctors or anything. And I was in the middle of nowhere. And so I would lock myself in the bathroom with whatever I could steal from my mom without her knowing. And I would do my makeup. And then once I got a job in a car, I would go to Ulta, which was the only beauty place in our city. And I would get
in Ocala.
In Ocala. Yeah. And I would buy whatever non-assuming makeup products I could, you know, I would think the cashier wouldn't think it was weird for me to buy. And so it's just been this slow journey of me just, honestly, the reason I've gotten to here is just by messing up a billion times. And that's really all beauty is just like figuring out a billion ways not to do something until you figure out the one way that's right to do it, or the one that works for you to write it.
My daughter is so good at doing her
makeup. Is she?
It's
the
crazy.
Kids these days. It's crazy.
It's wild. I'm like,
how young was she when she started?
Oh my God. Like 11 or something. I don't know. Wow. She was young. Like she's watching YouTubes and she's like, you know, she just does it perfectly. The way that she like contours her face. She can contour. She like does her eyelashes.
And you're okay with you're fine with
because it's not like she's doing it. She doesn't like wear like a face full of makeup to school every day or anything, but like on like the weekends or something, you know. And also like she can do contour, but she like doesn't like. It's not like she's like crazy doing it, you know. But when she was younger and like learning how to, she'd come in and be like, you know, crazy. I'm like, what are you doing? But she was learning.
Yeah.
No, she's good.
These kids these days, like there are like 10-year-olds doing beats that are like sending professionals into their graves.
It's, I know, it's fucked up.
It just is, yeah.
Okay, so give me like a makeup tip for me. Like what? Like I need. I'm just taking advantage now because you're here.
So I'm like, you can ask me whatever beauty advice you want.
Did you see what I did to my eyes today? I just did like, I normally don't even put eyeliner on. I normally have this Mario palette with the brown, and I just do the brown, like it's like a, and then
I mean, you look fabulous.
But what could I have done a little extra? Because I might see someone tonight. So what can I do?
Fine. Okay, this is what we're gonna do to take it from day to night. We're gonna curl our lashes.
Okay.
We're gonna put on a good waterproof mascara.
Okay.
We're gonna put on can you do a false lash?
We're not
going to worry about that.
Please no.
We're not gonna worry about that.
I can't do
Maybe
that.
we can make a lash appointment with a lash tech.
To get
extensions.
Yeah.
So we don't even have to do that.
Exactly. I can do that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, I like your eyeshadow. I like a neutral moment.
Okay.
I think it's pretty.
Okay.
So sue me.
Should I put anything on the bottom?
Actually, what I think you should do is take there's like a black and a brown on the Mario palette.
Yes.
Mix the two of them together on a detail brush and just smudge it over the liner that you already have.
Yeah. So it's
not
just
amplify it a little bit.
Got it. Love that.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Honestly, put on a little cute lip.
Okay.
Maybe a little extra blush.
Because
again, day to night.
Yeah, day to night. And I loved you said when you said you
2 fingers from your nose.
Exactly. So now I make sure that I do
I was a makeup artist, so I have literally a billion tricks up my sleeve.
Wait, say that again?
I was a makeup artist, so I have a billion tricks up my sleeve.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
But yeah, 2 fingers from your nose is
and
like
that's
the
where you do the
blush placement for most people.
And do you put the blush like only here, or do you like do it?
Well, so blush placement actually is something that can really transform the person's face. And so if you're putting it higher on the cheek, you're going to be lifting. If you're putting it a little like on the apple of the cheek, you're just going to look a little bit more cute and like, frostbitten a little bit.
I think I want to look like that.
Yeah. So like honestly, then put it, 2 fingers from your nose on just the apples, maybe a little on your nose.
Yeah.
I like to also hit the forehead and chin.
Got it.
A little on the neck.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go. Maybe a good setting spray in case your face is
and
in
a little
pillow,
setting spray. Okay.
Yeah.
When were you doing makeup? When were you a makeup artist?
So I dropped out of college, and my parents were like, well, because I was like trying to juggle a medical transition and school, and I was like, I can't do this. It was a lot. I was the most depressed I've ever been in my life, and I was just trying to make it through. So I dropped out of college. My parents were like, okay, you can stay in Orlando, which is where I was in college, but you got to get a job. And you take a year off, see what you can do, and if you don't make anything of yourself in a year, you gotta go back.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting a seasonal job at a makeup counter.
Do you want to say
literally anyone that hired me? Well, so
I'm curious.
Well, this is again another conversation of like, no one wanted to hire me because I was more visibly trans then, and this was 10 or so years ago,
right?
Not even that, like maybe 8. So it was a different time, and a lot of people didn't want to hire trans people. They still don't want to hire trans people. This is an epidemic that we are not out of. And trans women cannot find jobs. That's why they're going to sex work, which I mean, I did to be able to pay for surgeries too. It's like, there's so many things that we have to do to survive. Anyways, long story short. So I got a seasonal job at a makeup counter. And then I worked my way up a little bit.
Sex work is work.
Sex work is work,
Sex work is work.
Hey.
Legalize it. Why is the government, why the fuck is the government telling me I can't sell my body if I want to? It's fucking crazy. What do you think some of these women who are marrying these ugly ass dudes who are really rich, that is fucking sex work.
Let's not act like it's not.
It's fucking sex work. And that seems like the hardest sex work ever, because then you really got to wake up next to them every damn day.
Look at them every single day. And like, did you see the Queen Charlotte on Netflix?
No.
Oh God, there's this like really horrid couple of like an 80-year-old man and like a 30-year-old girl. Yeah, I couldn't do that for the rest of my life. It's just not worth it. No, so I'm gonna sell that body.
Again, keep it moving.
Keep it pushing, yeah.
Keep it pushing.
So I just worked my way up, and I was
wait, what is the makeup counter?
Oh, well, so I'm not going to name that one.
Okay, fine.
Not then I worked at Sephora after that.
Oh, good. And they were nice.
They were nice. They were great. I actually loved Nykita. If you're watching this, she was the manager that changed my life. That was the job that moved me to New York City. I moved here probably 5 years ago.
Okay.
Almost. And I was working here. And then I was just doing makeup clients, like, because, it's expensive in New York and you got to hustle. So I was like taking my own private clients and building my own book and doing, I don't know, shoots and stuff.
Right.
And
now you're not doing makeup anymore.
No.
Unless I beg you to do mine.
I mean, I would. There's a very select group of people that I would still do makeup on.
Because I'm
if you would like to be one of those people, I would do your makeup.
I want to be one of those people.
I'll paint you for the next event.
I want to be one of those people. Wait, where do you like go out and hang out and do you party? What do you do? Do you want to come to this party on Thursday?
Oh my God, there's a party on Thursday.
There's this Pride event at the Hard Rock.
Ooh,
it's like a Suzanne Barsh, Kim Petras.
Oh my God, thing. That sounds fun.
Do you know Kelly Catrone?
I know of Kelly Catrone.
Well, you need to come and meet her and like hang out.
Okay.
Are you?
No, I'll come.
Will you? Or are you like not really?
No, I'll literally come.
You will. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
No, I'm not like I don't live under a rock completely, but like I'm a grandma. I like to go to bed early, and I keep my I keep my circles small.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm an introvert, so
yeah.
Do you know your Myers-Briggs?
My what?
Your Myers-Briggs?
I know my Enneagram. Do you know the Enneagram thing? Okay, but I can't remember what my Myers-Briggs is, but I did do it. But I'm an introvert, but like I'm an extrovert also.
So you're an ambivert.
I'm an ambivert. And I'm also, do you know what attachment style you are?
Yes.
What are you?
I am anxious, avoidant.
I was going to say that. I was going to say anxious, avoidant. I am too.
Yeah,
but like, we're only like 5, like there's only 5% of people I feel like.
We're just so rare.
We're so rare. What can be rare?
You wish you were like us.
Period. But like it also depends like who my partner is, right?
Totally.
If they're being anxious, preoccupied, I'll turn into an avoidant, like an anxious avoidant. I'll be like, you're making me feel smothered. Yeah. And then if someone's like really avoidant, like it depending on like how much I like them, I'll either be like bye or I'll be like no, and then I'll get anxious, preoccupied
entirely.
You know?
Yeah, it's really funny how it completely depends on the person that you're opposite from.
It does. That's why it's like, and I read the attachment book and I want the doctors who wrote it to come on here so I can talk to them about it. Totally. Yeah. But it's also like, it's, these labels and stuff I have like kind of like, that's why I said the bipolar 2 thing. Like sometimes it's like, there's more to people just than like a psychological aspect. There's like a spiritual aspect to us, right? There's like our nature, nurture, there's everything. It's like so much. But the Enneagram is really interesting and you should look into that because I feel like you would really like it. I'm a type 8 personality.
Okay, I'm going to Google that.
Yeah. It's like going to take an hour to do the test, but you have to do it and tell me what you are.
Cool. I will. I'll DM you.
Yeah, I don't know what. Text me. You have my number now. Come on. I don't know you well enough to be able to like.
No, it's fine. I try to be elusive, and so like
you might be a 4. I don't know. You might.
Is that good? Lucky number 4.
Yeah, you might be a 4 with a 5. It's like a 5 wing or a 3 wing. But anyway, I'm an introvert too, and I keep my circle small. And also like it's the sobriety thing and going out is different than it once was. And then like ending up on TV was like weird because then it's like going out becomes more of a job. And then I started like making it more like, oh, this is work. And it's like, no, I want to go out and just socialize and like have fun, But I think this Thursday night thing, like if you're in the mood, I think it's actually going to be kind of fun.
That would be really fun.
I think it will. And like Suzanne Barsh is like,
I love a Suzanne Barsh moment.
I mean, she's like fucking epic.
Yeah, that's what I want to be when I'm 6 years old.
Same. Like her fucking apartment in the Chelsea Hotel. Like I can't. I didn't realize that she's married to David Barton.
Oh.
From Barton Gyms.
Oh.
I know.
I had no idea.
Me neither. I'm like, wow, this is like all. It kind of does make sense and doesn't at the same time. Yeah. But she's like, she's an interesting.
Honestly, good for her, girl.
Yeah, she's like an interesting person. Right, get that.
Yeah,
Barton money. So what's next for you? I hate when people ask me that. Actually, you don't have to answer that.
I mean, I
hate when people fucking. Okay, what do you have going on?
There is some stuff in the works. So I work as a model behind the scenes and before COVID and yada yada yada. So like I'm just like hustling and trying to keep my head above water for that. It's definitely interesting. But there are some exciting projects that I can't legally talk about right now that are like,
I hope it's a makeup line or something.
I mean, I've been thinking about doing a makeup line or a skincare line or something, which is, I'm not like leaking anything. There's nothing happening there, but like, I've considered it.
Yes.
I don't know. Is that like crazy?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Well, then maybe a makeup line is next. Who knows?
You are the best. What do you think about Jeffree Star, by the way?
Who?
Jeffree Star. Wait, you hate him? Oh.
No, sorry. I don't mean to be shady. I
really don't know that much about him.
I don't mean to be shady.
No, be shady. I don't care. That was funny as hell. I love it. I don't know that much about him. I only started recently, like, kind of following him because I was like, oh my God, did he fuck Kanye or not? Or what's happening? And then I saw that he moved to Wyoming and I was like, he has like a pink, like, John Deere thing.
There's something good.
I don't know what's going on, but he has like his life. But I'm like, if he has his own makeup line, like, I don't know how he got famous. Like, I don't know what
MySpace. He did music on MySpace.
Oh, it was back in the day. He's been doing that since MySpace. Okay. Yeah. He's like rich.
Rich. Like, so rich.
But he has a makeup line, right?
Yeah.
Is it sold?
People don't understand how much money is in makeup. They don't understand how much money is in.
I've never seen his stuff being sold anywhere, though.
He does. He was in the Morphe stores, which I think are all closed, RIP. Okay. But he does direct to consumer. Oh. Which is honestly how I would do it probably too.
Unless, what if Sephora was like...
Honestly, Nikki. Sephora, hit me up. That would be fabulous.
Yeah.
I mean...
We're manifesting it. We're throwing it out there.
Yeah, I totally will. I would like to have my face in Sephora first before... Like, that would be really fun because I used to have a manager.
Yeah.
I had a manager who, when I gave my 2 weeks, she was like, you're never going to make anything of yourself. She was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to try to make it as a model, yada, yada, yada. She's like, you're never going to make anything of yourself. And I would just love to have my face in Sephora just to like spite her.
You absolutely should. You know, once let me tell you my story of someone saying something like that to me. My old accountant... Yeah, this is maybe, I don't know what year. This is over 10 years ago. I can't remember what we got into a fight about, probably taxes or something, but he said to me, you are a horrible example for your daughter. He said something like that, and it wasn't about me paying tax. It was something, I don't even remember what this argument was about, but it wasn't anything that deep. Yeah. It wasn't anything that deep, but he knew that I had like, this might have been really a long time ago, like 2009 or 10, like when I first originally got sober. And he said something like, and he knew that I was, in the program and I had been struggling and I was not drinking anymore. And he just texted me something like, yeah, you'll never amount to anything and you're crazy and like your poor daughter, you're a terrible example for her.
What? First of all, look
at me now, motherfucker.
Yeah, thank you. She's on a podcast she's taking the world by storm. Get over it. The housewives. Need you. But are you going to come back? Are you like...
No, I'm not.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Would you ever go back?
I would never go back to that show, but because it's just not like spiritually like good for me. You know what I mean?
I can understand.
But I'm open to... I would do reality TV only if it was like a fun show that's like you don't have to like your life doesn't have to be ruined or you don't have to ruin someone else's like for entertainment, or I'm producer and I have control over my edit and like my everything.
Manifesting that.
Yeah, even though I don't know if I like really, sometimes doing the podcast once a week I feel like is like I'm giving a lot of myself, it's like I feel like I'm and then after years, even just a few years of like being on TV, it's like I kind of want to like I'm writing a book right now though,
like similar to similar to
it's kind of the things that I didn't put in there because even though I did pour my heart and soul, there were things that I wasn't ready to talk about. And there were things that happened after I wrote the book.
Oh, so we got to put it all down.
So now, it's like kind
book number 2 is on the way.
It is. And it's being written and it's therapeutic.
That's iconic.
Yeah. Do you write it all?
I mean, I have, yeah.
You probably have a lot of good things to say.
There's note tabs of poetry and stuff on my phone and stuff. So
I love that.
I like to write and journal and keep a little...
You're deep. You are.
Very Scorpio, smooth waters, but deep, I don't know. But a book is an undertaking.
It is.
It's like almost like a child, almost.
Yeah.
It feels like, it's like you're birthing a child.
No, I know. Yeah, you're birthing something for sure. It's really like this book having to do the audio version and having to like say it all out loud. I was like, why the fuck am I telling people this? Why am I talking about this? But this next book, this is something I have to do. This didn't feel like something I had to do. It was like something, it was an opportunity came. The publisher said, we want you to write something. I was like, okay, this feels like I need to do this, you know? So
honor that. That's so good.
I'm doing that. And Marianne Williamson, who, who came on the podcast before we had started recording, I was telling her about that book and I was telling her about the next book. And she goes, just write the truth.
That's all you can do.
Just write the truth.
Yeah. Just let your truth speak for itself, honestly.
Yep, exactly. And with that, I think we'll close it out on that note. This was so amazing.
Literally so wonderful.
I'm glad our first hangout was filmed and recorded.
I know, I loved it.
Our next hangout will be private. So
yeah, that'll be perfect.
We can really go in.
And then we'll go to the gym and that'll be private too.
Exactly.
It'll just be so much private stuff.
Thank you for coming on. Where can people find you?
At Neo It Girl everywhere. Basically just TikTok.
I need to follow you on Instagram, but I know you're much more on.
It's not even an It Girl joke. It's a tranny joke.
Oh,
just bunch of tranny jokes.
I didn't know.
No,
what is it?
I'll tell you. I'll break it down. So they call our vaginas after surgery neo vaginas.
Oh, I had no idea why. What's new? I don't even know what
it means. New
vaginas, of course.
Yeah, I got called it an entire.
I want a new vagina. Honestly, I need to get that labiaplasty or whatever they're doing.
Hey, it needs to get. I know all the doctors.
It needs to get tightened up, honey, because I did push a fucking child out of there, and
I got you.
And then I was like getting railed by a big dick, and I feel like honestly it's just looking different.
They're doing robotic surgery over at NYU now with the I don't know whatever that robot's name is.
A robot is doing the vagina surgery?
Does it through your belly button and through like another little hole in your stomach. Yeah, so we can go and get our robotic.
Oh, yay. Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds okay, perfect. Wait, and then
I was called an it my entire life, and so I was just like literally just wanted to make a joke about like I am a new like it girl. So like it's not even me claiming to be an it girl. So thank you if you've been manifesting that for me, but it's not.
Oh my god, I can't.
But follow me at Neo It Girl.
Follow Nikki, she's epic.